Hello, good afternoon. We are Replica Biomaterials, and we're engineering leather without its carbon footprint. The problem we're addressing is the negative impact of the leather industry on climate change. So the leather industry is responsible for 12% of greenhouse gas emissions. It's a water-intensive industry, and it also generates solid waste and uses toxic chemicals to process hides. Our solution is to develop a sustainable leather alternative. So we do this by using DNA and to produce suitable proteins. And in addition to that, we have built-in color at DNA level. We then engineer microbes, which act as colored protein factories. We harvest these proteins and we process them into sheets. The material can be used in the fashion, automotive, and upholstery industries. We're entering at the very end of the leather industry value chain, working directly with manufacturers and luxury brands. We completely avoid the need for animals and the dyeing processes of the value chain, and therefore our product will have lower greenhouse gas emissions, will use less water, and will have less or generate less solid and chemical waste. What sets us apart is our unique composition. We have a unique protein mix. We don't use any petrochemicals or toxic chemicals, and we have integrated coloring at the DNA level. Therefore, we completely bypass the dyeing process. Because of these components, we have additional environmental savings.
So the global leather goods market is worth over $400 billion US, and in the future we are going to enter markets of North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific in the segments of fashion, upholstery, and automotive. In the beginning, we will not be able to produce a large amount of our product, so we are targeting the luxury, the small leather goods luxury, and the market is worth roughly $80 billion US. So from talking to our potential customers, we know that they pay between 200 and 500 pounds per square foot of luxury leather. And we are going to price our product at the lower bracket, at the 200 pounds price point, to influence them into adopting our product. We've had significant interest from luxury brands. They all want the same. They want our product to have the same quality and aesthetics as traditional leather. And they want us to be able to scale up production to meet their demands. They are open to test samples and to build a relationship with us. But Hermes has gone even further than that, and they are happy to co-develop the product, and funding is available for our R&D. So this is where we are now. We are finalizing our process optimization. We are very early stage. This was funded by a grant from Innovate UK. Next up will be prototyping. We have already secured 50K from Innovate UK, and then we'll be able to enter pilot production and start market validation working with brands. We'll be able to patent our processes, our product, and part of the production processes. So we are raising 400K to fund 18 months of operations for the prototyping and pilot production. Then we'll be working with brands and unlock further funding from them. And then we'll be able to co-develop and do market validation. This is our team. We have experience in biotechnology and fashion. Anna has a PhD and leads the R&D. And I will lead the commercial vision and brand partnerships. Through Undaunted, we've had 2 advisors, Antonella for business and marketing and Dolat for business and finance. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, well done. Okay, moving on to questions, and we'll kick one off as those come in from the audience with a question about what you think makes your solution better than your competitors.
So there are lots of sustainable alternatives being developed at the moment. That means protein-based, which is our case, means plant-based, means mycelium-based products. We try to mimic the composition, the protein composition of leather, and that means we were aiming to have the same quality as traditional leather. And because of that, we're targeting the luxury market. In addition to quality, we don't use any petrochemicals, we don't use any toxic chemicals, so our product is more environmentally friendly than traditional leather. And unique to our product is the built-in color at the DNA level. So we completely bypass the dyeing process, and that leads to additional environmental savings.
You mentioned colour, and that's the first question we've had in from the audience. Can you produce leather of any colour?
Potentially, yes. We started with blue, but we aim to have a variety of colors and add that customization for our potential customers.
Fantastic. Where do you source your inputs and how available are they?
So our inputs are from engineering biology. So we take our DNA sequences, which are widely available from GeneBank. If you're a scientist, you know what I'm talking about. And then we then engineer the DNA sequences, and we insert them into microbes, and then because they grow a lot, they make lots of our material, and that's how we process that into the final material into sheets.
And what's the production cost of luxury leather products, and how does your cost compare?
So basically, we've addressed that in the previous slide. So a production cost. So we know we can be comparable to the cost of our competitors. And we are targeting the luxury market because our quality will be superior and we will have larger margins. Do you want to add anything else for that?
Yep.
That's it.
I think that's it, yes.
Will you require bespoke fermentation facilities for your bioprocess?
No, so we can use existing facilities. That's also what keeps our costs down. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
What's the end-of-life process? Can this be recycled?
So we don't have any data on this yet, but because we don't use any petrochemicals, we don't use any toxic chemicals, we're aiming to have a biodegradable material, but we still need to analyze that. We don't have any data on that.
Okay. Another question asks, will the product last longer than traditional leather in terms of quality?
So that's also in development. We don't actually know until we make it, basically. But we aim to have the same quality and therefore the same longevity.
Okay, moving on. Cool traction with the fashion houses as well, audience member. What's your go-to market strategy in the automotive industry?
So that depends on scalability. That's why we start with fashion houses and small
leather goods.
Yeah, because of the quantity of product we can make initially. But once we scale and once we basically can make lots and lots of product, then the automotive industry is one of our target markets.
Will the product last longer? We've had that one already. Let's move on to another question that we had in. Let's ask about the brands that you'll want to adopt your product, drawing on what you've just said. What brands will you want to work with?
We've had interest from Hermès, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, just to name a few. But Hermès was by far the most interested one.
Brilliant. That brings us to time. Thank you. Well done.